My eyes evening, sometimes brand new shit, some say, I like it, it's raw. So I must. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Ain't That Right? I'm your host, Duncan Dad. We are live in the greater Northeast where it's getting a little chilly, which is nice because it's winter time. It should be like that. A beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me on this journey as we count on down to the end of the year and celebrate the holidays with those closest to us, maybe some coworkers, maybe some new friends we haven't met yet. But as we wrap it up for the end of the year, I started thinking because I had to go through like one of these normal family traditions that we do, and I think everybody has them out there. And just so you guys know, like a bit of background for me, I love the whole like culinary culture kind of thing. I was one of those guys that was through high school and college, like subscribed to like Wine Spectator. It was like on the James Suckling, train like long time ago. Always looking for like the top 100 wines, and of course that gets into like the cigar culture and like the certain spirits and the whiskeys and the travel, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, it's just good to educate yourself, on some of those things. And not a wine aficionado per se, but definitely have my likes and my dislikes. But the culinary world itself, I've been really fortunate to um, know some people, meet some people, interact with individuals, and as advertised, awesome, awesome, awesome ladies and gentlemen. And I go back, and one of the guys that I follow, I guess I watched some of the old video of it. Um, it's a French chef, Marco Pierre White. If you're in the culinary world, you know of him, about him, and classically trained French guy. He was sort of like the tutor for guys like Gordon Ramsay, and uh, has a very interesting sort of take and way that he ran his kitchen, but extremely philosophical in his own right, extremely um, precise when it comes to being in touch with the essence of cooking, not just throwing something on a plate, right? Not just whipping something up. It's there's a there's a relationship there. There's the love affair. There's the frustrations, the stress, the technicalities, the precision, and not that this leads into anything that I could ever do, baking or cooking wise, but it just started to really lay into this question, like as we get to the end of the year, because he had a quote, and he was talking about. I think he was making scrambled eggs. It was like the simplest scrambled eggs, and the whole technique where it's like it's on the flame, off the flame, etc., etc. And basically, the what it came down to is that like cooking is this philosophy. It's like how you're feeling. It's interpretive. It's where you want the dish to go. You know, your special little touch and play on things, and it's open to a lot of interpretation. And pastry is very precise. It's a recipe, and anyone who's ever baked anything, even if you adjust just the littlest thing, you can find yourself like in a conundrum. So it's not saying there's not an appreciation for the world of pastry. There's the utmost appreciation for it. I think it's actually held into a higher standard because of the technicality that comes along with it. I.e., I was like, all right, how then does this really like fit me like in my world, right? Because over the holiday season, like we all do a fair amount of cooking, right? You're going to grandma's house, you're going to this, and everybody has like their one or two special little things. And everybody has cookies, everybody has like a cake or there's something, a dessert. And I was like, so over the holiday season, we're doing this fair amount of cooking, fair amount of baking. We're gonna like compare the two when it comes to like formulating like our goals, because the end of the year, it's kind of time to check in for the goals. Everyone's got New Year's resolutions, et cetera, et cetera. How do we how do we really break this down? So like cooking and baking, right? Both forms of nourishment, both give us um, the energy and the sustainability. They are from a place of creation and newness. Sometimes there's a recipe, sometimes there's an embodiment because it's nostalgia based. It's, something that is set in stone, something that's had a standard for the longest time. So they are complementary in one sense, but how they actually play out and shape our lives under these two concepts are two very distinct but important avenues, right? Cooking. You can adapt things. You can fool around with it a little bit. Add a little more salt, a little less pepper, a little more garlic, not so much thyme, not so much oregano. You can improvise. Like in life, right? You can improvise. You're cooking. Going down, yep, okay, shake and bake. On the pastry side of it, it's very methodical. It's very structured. It's very orderly. It's very precise. And there's a reason. And there's certain things that you're going to do in your life that are going to require you to be improvisational and adaptive. And other things are going to be precise and super structured, right? Like you're cooking, your mindset's like, let's see what he got. I'm walking into the situation, into this room. I got my skill set. I've got my priority practices and principles, which fall under our pastry realm. How can I best adjust? What tool am I going to pull out of my bag and see what I can make with what's going on here? All right, don't have the best equipment, don't have the best personnel, but what can I do? I'm not in the best socioeconomic position. I'm not in the best position when it comes to the technology that I have in my hand. I'm not in the best position when it comes to seed money or the financial backing. What can I do? What can I do? On our other side of the equation, you're trying to follow something very specific to get your desired result. I'm assured that if I complete XYZ training, ABC education, there's a good to better chance that this will happen. It will definitely put me in a position to take this next step. When we're cooking, as opposed to our baking, it's everything that's going on right now in front of you in real time. Can't walk away from something that you're sauteing. Can't walk away from frying something. Why? Leave it in too long, it burns, it sears, it's over seared, it gets tough. You have to be attentive to it, but you got to be intuitive. You got to know when to press, when not to press, when to pull back, when to go all in. And that takes repetition, it takes experience, it takes honing those skills. Being a pastry chef, being a pastry, it's very intentional with the actions. Not only am I going to do A, B, C, X, Y, and Z, I'm going to do one, two, three, because I need to be future focused on that next step after I get this done. It's going to go in for 20 minutes at 400, then I'm going to take it out, rotate, put back. Like it's super precise on the mark. You've got to be dialed in. Everything that you do is intentional. When you're cooking something, tolerance for errors, tolerance for screwing something up or adjusting. Like you can adjust in the moment. Okay, this isn't working. Let's switch it up. Let me go ahead and pivot. Putting together my recipe the other day. Oh, added too much. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna cut with a little bit of water. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce another ingredient. No big deal. Still gonna turn out all right. Still gonna enjoy it. But like, what in our lives can we be involved in where when we make those pivots, make those adjustments, it's not earth shattering, right? It's not going to bring the entire house of cards down. On the other side, we have to be aware that the mistake can greatly affect what it is we're doing, where we're going, what we intend to be. And mistakes so much not in your actual action, but going so far down a road, doing something, investing in something, being with someone, doing stuff for yourself, and then figuring out, hey, this really wasn't good. Like all of this that built up has now led to this, and why? Because during that time, in that presence of cooking, during all that tolerance period, nothing was done, nothing was adjusted. We just kept baking and kept baking and kept baking. Not that baking, kids. We had the cousin walk last weekend, Thanksgiving. Now we're into the holidays. We're into the good holidays now, right? Come on. But that's why after so many years and so many times, people have these great plans. It's all laid out. It's super fantastic. And you talk to someone who's like, "Hey, you've been in banking for 25 years." And it's like, no enjoyment. Why? Well, because I thought this is where I wanted to be. I thought the happiness was going to come. I thought people, places, and things were going to change. I thought, and I just kept going. I didn't adjust. I was afraid to adjust. Go back to our conversation to ourselves about communication, right? It all ties together. So now we're looking at our goals and why it is so important to make sure that your priority practices and principles are in place and they're flexible, but yet that will keep you grounded, right? They're going to keep you in a spot where, okay, I need to adjust and I still want to go towards this long term goal. So, what are some things that can be changed? What are some things that can be introduced? Do I need to remove? Do I need to stay? Do I need to add? Do I need to subtract? Is it then going to be beneficial? It's going to be worth it? Is it going to be the investment, the time, and the patience for it to bake? Is that reward going to be what's expected? A lot of times it's not what's expected. But we all have a certain amount of time where we allow certain things on our stove to simmer, right? Our stock has got to be, that's my base. Can't rush it. Got to take its time. Everything else, man, I can pump out, pasta in a second. I can pump out gnocchi in a second. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, okay. Change the shape. Add some more water, a little more salt. That stock's got to keep going and going and going and going. Symbolically, cooking and being in the present allows you to be creative. You got creative freedom, right? You can adjust, you can move, you can improvise, you can be flexible, you can plug some things in and out. You can go in and out of that tool bag and say, I'm going to use this. That didn't work. I mean, no, okay, okay. But you're getting your tools from the pastry side of it. But you're getting your tools because you've set up all this training and now you're coming equipped. Or you're taking a pause and you're re educating, retraining, retooling, therapies, whatever it is. Your pastry side, your your tools itself. You don't just walk in someplace and pick up a tool and say, "Hey, this is great." You need to be trained on it. You know how to use it. If not, buy the warranty. I'm just saying. But it's discipline, it's patience, it's delayed. It's delayed gratification, it's delayed enjoyment. The same way that swing a hammer at 10 years old is going to be different at 18, 20, 30, 40, etc. Same way you pick up a paintbrush and want to paint, you're going to look at your art from the very beginning. And now 15, 20 years on, it's going to be completely different. How you approach something, but the underlying principles, the underlying practice, the underlying drive, the patience, that all ties back to this foundation that you've built. Not saying you can't adjust why things are coming up. You should. Your creativity and your flexibility will improve as you mature and as you experience things. Certain people, places, things, places you will go, you may not do or want to do. Why? Because you've learned, you've grown. That you're not about adjusting in that moment anymore. Like, nope, been there, done that. I know what it gets to. I know that I need 7 hours of rest. I know I gotta be fresh for job interview. I gotta be fresh for presentation meeting tomorrow. I gotta be fresh for whatever's happening. I don't do it. Our life goals in these contexts. They're cooking. Try something new. I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna learn. Yeah, let's throw that in there. Yeah, no problem. Shake it up a little bit. I didn't think about that in the meeting, but good suggestion. Let's go ahead and run that. Does it meet the metrics? Oh, yeah, okay, well, we'll try it. That's good. Oh, you did this? Oh, all right. And you're thinking to yourself, well, it's not going to compromise any of my practices and principles. It's not going to compromise the way that I want to be seen, interpreted, communicated with. It's not going to compromise the way that I'm going to think about myself. So, okay, let's go for it. Parallel on our life goals, pastry, baking. You're you're setting definitive benchmarks for yourself. You may never reach those benchmarks, but you have to set the goals. I mean, without any goal, you have no destination. People are like, oh, well, enjoy the journey. You don't really need a destination. But you need to point your ship in some direction, right? I mean, a lot of individuals are like, I don't know where to go. Like, find something that's closely associated and related with your priority practice principles, loves, passions, convictions, and point yourself in that direction. You might not end up at that appointed destination that is prescribed by whomever, but along the way, you're going to adjust. Along the way, you're going to grow. Along the way, you're going to be able to see how things have baked and grown. And if it hasn't, then you adjust. But to set out on a 5-year journey, to set out on a journey with like no direction, you can't do that. None of us can do that. And if you do, people are like, well, you're living in chaos, living in turmoil. Yeah, exactly. Because you don't have direction for yourself, no matter what it is, even if it's the simplest thing to focus on. I'm going to get through 3 months, blah, 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 blah. See how I measure that. This is what I'm going to accomplish in that time. This is what I need to do in that time. These are the resources that I need to accumulate and or use during that time. Now, during the entire mission, during that journey, if you got to move, if you got to pivot, you got to shake and bake, Ricky Bobby, you do it. Two sides of the same coin, both extremely important and hinged to the other one. Our cooking principle teaches us how to adapt. Life is going to throw us curveballs, right? Things we didn't expect to come along, they're going to come along. Why? Because that's what happens. Cooking and our cooking goals and our daily goals and our daily behavior, it's about what? It's about responding, right? They would say like 90% of what happens is how you respond. There's always the Murphy button. We understand that. Come on, we're all adults here. But as you're responding, what are you doing? You're building a little bit of resilience. Okay, yeah. I like that. Don't like that. Okay. Still going forward, still pushing through. You're making the best of what is in front of you because it's going to be great some days. Might not be the best, might not be everything you expected, but coming in with just a pee poor attitude and constantly cutting it down, there's no doubt that you've already shoot yourself in the foot, so to say. And it allows you to stay curious. Yeah, let's try that. Why not? Okay. Yeah, that sounds like fun. I never thought it would, but guess what? Let's just go ahead and do it. Our baking philosophy, it teaches us to commit to something. No shortcuts. You try to take a shortcut while you're making pastry, while you're baking, it will inevitably be horrible. You might get one a blue moon. I think about a lot of times those people that put the cake mix inside the mug and put it inside the microwave and like, hey, like, hey, a blind squirrel finds a nut, right? Blind squirrel finds a nut. It happened to me the first time when an uncle was passed away, God rest his soul. He had taken a little mug or a little bowl, ran a little butter around it, cracked an egg inside, broke the yolk, and he's like, just meet her and watch it in the microwave for like, 30, 45 seconds. And you got like this pseudo-y omelet, scrambled egg kind of thing. And I was like, I guess if that's what you want, but hey, it can be done. It can be done. But normally, our baking or precise cooking doesn't allow us to throw in shortcuts. Anyway, it takes time. It takes the the notion of the trusting the entire process and preparing and being disciplined and measuring out what exactly it is that we need. Baking, the goals of baking, the goals of our future existence, a clear vision, faith in the long-term outcome. There's that old adage of, planting a tree and not seeing the fruit that it bears. Like, that's okay. Like, there's vision there, there's discipline there. That's important. So, as we wrap up our year and why we're thinking about cooking and all these yum things that we're doing, just kind of sit back a second, right? Like, which goals, which practices over the last year and going into next year are best approached in a cooking capacity where you can have some openness, you can have some play, you can have some shifts, some flexibility, and it's not going to upset the system. Which ones require precision and patience and attention to detail, right? Some goals have to be set in that world of freedom and just trust in the process, right? Freedom and experimentation and just allowing things to present themselves. Others, they need structure, they need discipline. I'm going to get up every day. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to watch my weight. I'm going to watch what I'm eating. I'm going to read more. I'm going to journal. I'm going to take time, actively take time for myself. When I see that I'm stressed, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Both are completely valid. Both are completely beautiful. Both are completely necessary for you being the best version of you. So, new year coming up, year ending, put a bow on it. Let's let's get some examples of how we do this now, because like I said, we always like to talk. And I always say, well, there's always examples. There's always journaling. What do you do? Well, journal. Dude, how you doing? How you doing, man? How you doing? Blah, 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 blah. All right. So usually, and we all have it. I mean, I don't care if you're in the bathroom. I don't care if you're in the shower. I don't care if you're sitting down on the couch between, football games. I don't care. Whatever. You're on the train. But be aware. We're in public, of course. Usually takes about 20, 30 minutes. Like anything more than that, like then, that you get too too in depth, right? That you start losing. That goes from a list of like, what do we need from the store? And you sit down and you're like, well, I need apples and oranges, and the next thing you're like, well, I really like to get a pear. Well, what kind of pear? You want a Dangy pear? You want a Boss pear? You want a red pear? It's like, well, just get the freaking pear. The bottom line is you want fruit, okay? Like you're don't get so don't allow yourself to get so sidetracked. This is a pastry thing, right? 20, 30 minutes, any more than that, then we're into a therapy session and start to spin out and we really need to break some more things down. So set aside 20, 30 minutes, right? How are you going to do it? Nice quiet place, relaxing environment, whichever way you find it. The way you do it. You want to sit in bed and do it? You want to sit at a table and do it? You want to sit on the couch and do it? You want to sit on one of those little futon chairs or beanbag chairs? I don't know, whatever floats your boat. You want to sit outside? The idea is like you want to have at least a designated space for 20, 30 minutes to kind of just collect your thoughts. I know it's hard, but like you can put the phone to the side, put on D&D mode, and if like the world is ending, touch wood, like it's gonna come through anyway. Aside from that, like you're not gonna miss anything on social for those couple minutes. Your Monopoly Go game's not gonna go away. All good in the hood. Let's divide the paper. Right? We'll go left column. We'll make our cooking goals, and on right side we'll make our pastry because pastry has to be right. All right. So cooking goals for your year, recapping and going forward. Highlighting. Cooking is adaptive, it changes, it moves. So this is what we're thinking. You can improvise. It needs more flexibility. So on this side, we're going to sit there and say, okay, what areas of my life, realistically, need to be, or I need to be more flexible with? What should I really be more curious about? Or what should I allow myself to kind of be that, little experimenting, try this, do that. Not crazy stuff. Not crazy stuff. But like, hey, you want to go check out a show? You see all these people talking about, a play, an opera, the theater, whatever. I've never thought about that for, guess what? Let's go try it, check it out. It's not hurting anything over here. What goals can you approach in a spirit of learning, being a little, yeah, a little more responsive with the techniques and the tools and the talents and the time that you have? What can you approach like in a more relaxed, playful kind of manner? You should be enjoying what you're doing. Right? You should enjoy it. Some things we know, Murphy button. We all got the bills, all that stuff, right? Boom, 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 boom. But let's get past that because we're adults. What sort of ingredients do you have that you can maybe put together, mix them up? You have skills, you got relationships, you have resources. You're focusing on this particular area, but maybe you can leverage and network some of these. You might have to be a little more flexible. You have to be a little more curious. You might have to pick up the phone. You might have to email someone. You have to text someone, talk to someone that maybe you didn't see. Why? Maybe it's another avenue of discovery. Maybe it's another avenue of revenue. Maybe it's another avenue to help you in your daily, just by relaxing, sharing, opening, having commonality, communication. Go back to our three-parter. On the right side, we have our pastry chef goals. Ooh, yes. And what are we again? Remember that pastry and being a baker. It's about being precise. It's about being very structured. There are standard values that exist, standard combinations that exist. So, what are your goals that require you to plan, to be patient, to be consistent, to budget, to put off today so you can do this in the future or tomorrow? Not saying every little thing has got to be like that because if you're always planning to go someplace, never go someplace, then it's not going to be happening. Sometimes you just have to do it. But if there's something specific, it will require patience and planning consistency. Which of your goals requires that patience, planning, consistency? Where do you need to follow the specific step by steps in your life to get the outcome that you want? If you would like to do X, Y, and Z, you need to do this. I want to buy a house. Well, you better get your credit in order. I'd like to pursue car. Okay. Your bills are in check? Okay. Income in check? Good. Cost of spending ratio? Okay, good. Like there are definitely things that need to be in place. You want to move? You have first and last month deposit? You have a moving budget? You have a job set up? Well, you can't be flexible there, dude. Can't be flexible. I'm just gonna fly by the seat of my pants. Well, long gone are the, 70s, 80s, and 90s where you pick up and you live out of your, trunk of your car. Does it happen? Of course it happens. Murphy button. We see the people all the time. But for the greater majority, you should probably have a plan in place, especially nowadays with the way that, documents, please. Just saying. What are you willing to commit to even when the results take time? You want to get back in shape. You want to go to the gym. You want to do right. Well, you're not going to see that crap in 2 months. You might see some change, but committing yourself to it, the discipline of it, that change in and of itself, yeah, that's what builds. And then the next thing you know, the habit becomes a discipline and it's part of your life. For each of your goals, what's one small action? This is when you're looking back, right? Because you want to compare where you've been, where you're going, obviously. Like, what's one small action that you can take this week? I'll be a little more open, optimistic, and engaging at work. I'm gonna be flexible. I gotta be so stringent. Okay, cool. Cooking right in the real time. Long term, I'm gonna get my treadmill out, get my weights out. I'm gonna start walking 2 times a week. Okay, I can do that. Easy. I'm not trying to, enter the Mr. Olympia contest, and I'm not trying to be the CEO at work. I might get there. Value and identify the goal. What does that mean, Dom? What does it mean? That means my openness and my flexibility at work is going to give me what? Maybe potential growth, some connection, networking. I can attach this to something that may benefit me later. My long-term goals, my pastry goals. It's instilling a discipline, as we said. It's instilling a personal growth beyond what I'm getting right now. So looking back, looking forward, column, boom, boom, and that's it. Write them down, set them down, take a peek at them, see how you're making out. See what ones you want to assign going forward into New Year. So, how do you have or how do you maintain this balance? How can we describe this balance? How can we do the juggling act? If you think about it in the concept of cooking and baking, if you had a table and it was just full of food with no little treats or no little special recipe things, you'd be like, this, I don't like this. Look at your friend group, right? Even within your friend group, you have such a diverse group of personalities, even though you might like the same thing and interpret things almost the same way. Because if you have everything the same, it's super rigid, or it's too indulgent. It's too much. It's too savory. Yes, things can be too savory. Yes, things can be too sweet. But you don't want it to be a mishmash of just things thrown together. Why? Because I don't know how it's going to taste. Did you put enough salt in it? Did you even season it? Like, you got to give me something here. Like, I'll improvise with you. I'll go along. But, it's got to be balanced. It's got to be this balanced man. It's going to be like, okay, I'm not going to have, a 7 course meal every night, but going to have your speaking openly here. I understand. Let me, you can have your meat, your impossible meat, veggies, starch, and your little sweet treat. Like, you're trying to have this balanced approach, right? You're trying to know that as you are beginning to fulfill these goals, as you're beginning to attempt these long-term disciplines, that you are baking your way towards all your dreams, hope, aspirations, and marathon down there. And you're cooking your way through this little uncertainty that comes up. I've got tools. I got my disciplines. I'm gonna move around. I'm gonna get through this. It's okay. I don't have it. Oh, I need to retrain. Okay, great. Well, now that's going over here into the baking pile, and I see that I've tried this here in this job now for 3 months, and they really need an individual that has this particular skill set. I've already mastered, or I'm all pretty good at this over here. So, what's it going to take for me to move up? Because I really enjoy the idea and the concept and the shared vision and the organization and the relationship because everything is wonderful. How do I better find that? Well, if you were trained in this, okay, cool. Now I'm going to put that idea over here and I'm going to go after it. Timetable may be specific to the job. Communicate. Ask, hey, I'd really like to do this. Do you think that I would be afforded the time? Well, as long as your productivity and your work doesn't suffer, then yeah, you can go ahead and train this. Oh, awesome. And even if you get through it and you train it and it doesn't work there, now you are trained twice as much. You've invested in yourself. It didn't happen overnight, but now you've invested in yourself. You put one more tool in your toolbox. So this season, this new year, the things that you have set aside that you quote unquote bake that fall into your pastry category, are you giving it the care and intention that it needs? And attention. Intention and attention. You can intend for a lot of things, but if you don't give it the right attention and the right care, it's not going to matter. You can make all the ingredients right in a cake. You can put it in the oven. If it's not hot enough, not baking. If it's too hot, you're gonna burn it. You have to stay on top of that crap, man. In the present, your goals that are cooking and shaking, are you doing it with love? Are you doing it with a passion? Are you doing it with a conviction? Is there something behind it? Are you just going through the F emotions? Because if you're going through emotions, dude, listen, that's fine. That's great. The more people you know, they survive on that, but they're just not happy. They're just not happy. There's some really wonderful individuals who find themselves in really, really wonderful positions in this world, either in their life, their home, their organization, their relationships. And from the outside, you're like, damn, let's go. Ooh, yeah, there it is. Ooh. And you're just like, man, but they're just not happy. They're just not enjoying it. Tick all the boxes, but not doing it. So don't mistake what it is that you're going through for something that really may not be rewarding to you. Like that reward's got to come from you, right? That happiness has got to come from you, and then that will definitely show itself in everyone around you and what it is that you're doing. So, as everyone formulates their holiday menus for themselves, and as we get ready to put a wrap on today's program, our cooking program, let's harken back to our great French chef Marco Pierre White. Cooking is a philosophy, my philosophy. Am I going to be an a-hole? Am I going to be happy with it? Am I going to be flexible? Or am I going to be so stringent? Am I going to adapt to the situation? Am I going to allow for a little bit of flexibility, a little bit of experimentation? Or am I going to be hard ass? That's up to you. Overall, are you happy? There's no recipe for it. You have the ingredients. You got to deal with it in real time as it's happening, going down. Funny thing is, it can bounce back and forth. As your pastry chef and your pastry goals and your pastry philosophy, what are you hitching your wagon to? What are you basket you putting your eggs in? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it serving not only for right now, but down the line? Because if you're investing long term in something that is not building you up to be the best version of yourself, regardless of all of your practices and disciplines, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Now, granted, there's responsibilities that people take on that come along the way with doing certain things. That's understandable. We're not saying that. What we're saying is you being genuinely in a good position so that when you have to adapt and you have to move and you have to change, you got to shake and bake in the sense of moving, not baking because baking's on the other side. You do it with this genuineness, self-righteousness, a compassion, not some, well, I got to do it. I'm here now. No, no. And if other people listen things don't respond to that, then we lean back into our conversation and our communication. There's a lot, right? So focus on your end of year. What goals did you cook that maybe you should have baked? Which goals did you bake that you probably should have just cooked in real time? Now the gym is closed. Now screw it. No, just can't go this week. Too much going on. Right? Don't allow yourself to get in your own way. A lot of times we're like John Candy in Spaceballs. We're a mob. We're our own best friend, and we're our own worst enemy. Shout out to John Candy. Great little documentary, by the way. I like me. Really, like, spot on. Reynolds, good job, buddy. Yeah. So that's it, guys. I think that's all for today, and we will be back on Thursday with another edition of Ain't That Right. Be sure to check out everybody on the Coastal Sports Digital Network, SR1029thegame.com. wonderful being here. I wish everybody a happy and healthy holiday season. I will talk to you on Thursday. Take care.